Welcome back to another episode of A Day in the Life of a Mobile Mechanic. I'm Ernest, and today we're going to start out with an emergency call out. I was getting ready to run some errands today, and I got a call from a friend who had an emergency. Then tonight, since it's summer and really hot in the afternoons, I'm going to do a job after it gets dark to try and stay out of the heat of the afternoon. If you want to be a part of the community, buy some merchandise, check it out down below. I'll make a few bucks off of that. If you want to support the channel and make these videos possible, donate at the links in the top of the description, subscribe and like this video, and let's get into it.
Nada, muerto.
Y a veces cuando la batería está muy muerto, con otro auto no funciona. Yo traje la cajita por las dudas que es esa. Tal vez si murió el alternador o algo así, estaba casi por morir cuando estacionaste y...
Lo que sí ha estado haciendo, que creo que es raro, como hace unos 3-4 días,
Sí.
empezó de la nada a decir, tipo, falta líquido de frenos y falta alguna cosa con el tracción, problema de tracción, alguna cosa así, de la nada,
Sí.
como hace 3 días. Y por eso te estaba llamando y mandando mensaje, porque digo, esto ya es diferente, no es solamente el sonido,
Claro.
sino que empezó a dar luces y cosas así de la nada.
Claro.
Entonces no sé qué onda.
Ok, bueno, me fijo rápido en... no está en park. Está en neutral. Ahora debería prender. ¿Tenés la llave? Pero no estaba en park.
No estaba en park.
Well, eso debería ser el problema.
¿En serio?
Sí, porque eso no deja prender el auto. Yo te iba a preguntar eso, si estaba en park o no.
¿Pero por qué?
Ok, me fijo en esta batería. Sería bueno si es eso nomás. ¿Está moviendo todo bien? No, pero ese sonido el chuk, ahora debería prenderse. Eso fue el sensor. Ahora está en park. A lo menos. Ok.
Si querés a mis amigos si necesitan, wow. Un ladrillo.
Sí. Wow. Ok, ahora sí.
¿Esos son tus lentes?
Dale. Debería prenderse. Ahora, rápido. Esto va a morirse.
¿En serio?
Sí, se sobrecalienta y tiene que esperar como 10 minutos. ¿Nada? Ya, dale, de vuelta. Yeah. ¡Buenísimo! ¡La hicimos!
No jodas.
Así es.
¿Qué hiciste?
Yo soy el mecánico acá. No, así nomás. Tenía que...
haberlo puesto para tu canal de YouTube.
Ajá, sí, grabé.
Oh, qué casualidad. El boludo de mi amigo lo dejó puesto.
Claro.
Sin comprar ese auto.
No, yo estoy feliz que fue así de fácil nomás.
Salado, además que tenés que irte, así que... ¿Qué hago? Por las dudas me quedo con esto, ¿no?
Sí.
Igual ahora va a cargar, ¿o no?
Sí, ahora sí. It's always great to do a job for a friend. It was great catching up. The lights that were all on were from low voltage, and we topped off the brake fluid. I did several more things in the afternoon that aren't going to make it in this video. They'll probably be their own videos, but we'll skip to the night where I got my customer's car from halfway across the country fixed. Every year they come out here, their car has an issue. You'll hear about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this van's been parked for a couple of hours, but it's still pretty warm. I'll give you an intro here in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab my scan tool and turn the fans on because it's kind of warm still, even though it's been sitting for a few hours. And it's probably just warm enough where I could open the system, but I might as well turn that fan on for a few minutes while I'm out here and just get that fluid nice and cool in there so it doesn't explode on us when I drain it out here. I'll check back in a second. Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and it's hot in the middle of the summer out here in Utah. So we're out here at night tonight. Gonna look at my customer's van here. These same customers travel around the country every summer, and there's always something wrong with their vans. This year the van's new and different, but the problem of having something go wrong along the way persists. So we're gonna go ahead and get that taken care of. They ran on an emergency trip, 2-hour trip to pick up the part this afternoon because they need it ASAP. So I'm gonna do that tonight because I like working at night anyways, and I'm missing a fireworks show somewhere, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've got my scan tool hooked up right now. Just all the lights off on the van because there's no need to drain the battery. I just use a little bit of it to turn that fan on, but it should be just fine when I get it started back up and charge the battery up. So yeah, while that does that, let that cool off, I'm gonna get everything else set up. Just turn it on low here. I saw that high speed over there. There you go. So that's pretty cool. I'll leave that on for just a few minutes to help cool that down and pop the hood and show you where this leak's coming from. But because of the leak, these customers put the wrong kind of coolant in their van, so they just want to get that flushed as well. So we're going to do a coolant flush and replace a hose that's leaking, but we got to get it cooled down enough to open up first. Well, and then I'm going to drain it so it's not a big deal how hot it is because I don't have to be touching the hoses and everything. Okay, I mean there's a leak, so I guess that pressure wasn't going to stay in the system long either way. I wasn't too worried about it. The leak is at that junction down there. There's a plastic 6-way junction, right where my finger's pointing at, and basically you have to replace all the hoses attached to that junction with it. No big deal, they have them. Just a few more connectors to undo. But hopefully that makes it a little bit easier, so I don't have to work so much in that tight space. Hopefully everything else is kind of in an open spot here, but I'll film as much as I can. All right, so I've got an empty antifreeze jug. I'm just gonna slide under there real quick. Hopefully it doesn't splash too much. Come out real fast, but I put a rag on there if it does. And basically, what is this, 14 quarts? That's pretty much that whole jug, so it's gonna take a minute. And then when that's done, I'll be back, but probably just gonna be waiting around for a bit. Okay, so there's, well, I'll just hold this camera up a little better. All right, so there's not like an easily accessible drain plug right under here. There may be something really obvious I'm missing, but because that's the hose that's leaking right here, and that's the one we have replaced, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that right there, let it drain out into the pan right below, and then come back when that's drained out, kind of clean everything off, have my pressure washer out, so just kind of gently spray everything off so I'm not getting coolant dripped in my eyes. And well, depends on how bad it is, we'll see. There's a look at the junction from right here. It's this right there from this side, and that's a better look than I can get. Got a long enough reach to keep my hands out of the coolant. Maybe you can see that. Bombs away. I think I'm gonna have a go at it from up here. Now if I go to the top, maybe get it down here below the engine. got my favorite assortment of hose clamp removing pliers. So I'm gonna use those. Starting with these hose clamps here, which are locking hose clamps. And usually pretty easy to do with just a normal pair of pliers. I have the space there with these. Yep. This is where you need hose clamp pliers. Hose clamps back there on that heater core or on the bottom. I mean, you could probably get them with a little pair of pliers, but having something like this where you just need to get that on it, it's so much easier. All right, since that was in such a tight spot, I just went ahead and cut the hose behind the heater core outlet and then kind of just trimmed it up there. That was enough to grab with some long pliers, these long ones. Just like this, and then I just started to peel it there, and then it broke free, started to twist, so I was able to pull it off. And there's the two on the bottom now, and I believe that's it. Yep, that's it. So 5 instead of, it would have been 3. So now all I've got to do is just get underneath here, right about there, and get those other 2 hose clamps off and get the hoses off, and then I can pull it out from the top and put the new one in, and then just come back under here for those last 2 hoses again. Okay, so that's those 2. Ooh, just put my head in some water. After I drained this, I went ahead and poured a bunch of water in there just to flush it out. So the ground's wet, but that's not cooling at least, and that's why I did that. Okay, so put that hose clamp on and the other hose there. And its clamp's just here on the ground. And we've got some bugs down here. Paying us a visit. All right, there you go, all back together. Okay, I've got to unlock that hose clamp there, and then I've got the 2 right here in the little bolt for that bracket. All right, that'll do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up now with my fill funnel, and we'll get it running and warmed up. But that's all the hose clamps there. Everything's back in place. Pretty simple. Nice little solution to fixing that problem. All right, the GoPro battery died. There's that van over there. Here's the old part here on the ground. So you can just see where I cut those hoses. There, and there, just to make it easier. But we've got that filled up and everything sealed off, and it's not leaking over there. I've got it warmed up and tested. And that'll do it. That's a day. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing if you like the videos. It means a ton to me, and I'll see you on the next episode. That's a job well done.